You're welcome to my podcast. I'm Cyrus. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's a Monday in Africa. I want to encourage you to stay positive and optimistic no matter what's happening, wherever you are and whatever situation you find yourself. Today, it's not going to be permanent, and the end to that challenge is closer than you first felt. So keep that energy up. In today's episode, I want to stress on this quick piece of information that's caught my attention over the weekend. It's on what's happening with our brothers and sisters, particularly Africans, who are falling victims due to opportunities that came their way. Be careful working under influential people, particularly rich people in any part of Africa. It isn't what it used to be. And I'm doing this episode because I know and have heard certain people who used to work with certain high-profile politicians and business moguls on this continent who have died under mysterious circumstances. I understand the need to learn from the best and to grow in an environment where you will have the best of opportunities to develop. I understand that. It's perfectly clear to me. And it's necessary. But sometimes it's not just what you think it is. These guys I knew worked in the northern and the western parts of Africa under these powerful people. They were promoted due to their competencies and given more opportunities to thrive in their field of occupation. Until I heard one of them had been taken back to his family home in his home country. He returned deaf and dumb, ladies and gentlemen. This was a man whose ability to analyze data and speak competently on issues got him hired in that field. And he returned not being able to speak or hear. The most shocking part of all this was his inability to hold a pen to write anything. His hands will be trembling the whole time until he lays down the pen. He died after 3 days of being brought back home. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm always going to bring you bits and pieces of information that will contribute to real development or bring real value to your life, so long as I keep posting. And so I urge you to be consistent with watching this channel. There might be some information that I may put out here that may help you or somebody that is close to you. Now, this other person I knew died after a trip with his boss to Central Africa. He left home totally fit and enthusiastic and returned home with a headache, which ended his life. The boss threw a huge funeral service for him and gave the family a bag load of money. After his death, 2 of his brothers have also lost their lives under same complaints of headache. Same headache which killed the guy, killed his other 2 brothers. The world we used to live in has changed, ladies and gentlemen. Most people I know have chosen to align themselves with something occultic, with a spiritual entanglement, and wouldn't mind setting you up for a sacrifice. The most important thing to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you are working under such high-profile personalities, is to remember that whenever push comes to shove and they have to present a sacrificial lamb, it will be the person nearest to them because it's convenient and it protects their secrets. It's going to be you. And so as he provides you with all these opportunities and gifts and introduces you to other high-profile people, it could be comparable with what we do to chickens from January to December in Africa. It's a typical African thing. We feed them, we house them. We make sure to keep them alive for the Christmas celebrations. So this is what I want you to know. Take a stand, first of all, on what you would accept and what you wouldn't. Take a stand. Take a stand on what you believe and what you are not willing to compromise on. Anything you are not ready to tolerate, take a stand. Anything beyond that shouldn't be allowed by you, no matter the pressure or monetary involvement. Don't sell your soul for money. Don't do the unthinkable for money. That's what I'm saying. Don't make money your God. It's not worth it. The other day, I watched an investigator dig out a tomb of a rich man on TV to exhume certain important information needed for investigation. Inside that tomb was briefcases stuck with money and jewelry to the tune of $10 million, US dollars, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, the dead man's pit was left behind a skull and bones. The money couldn't go with him, even inside that pit. The top 1% of the world leaders are all aligned one way or the other. You should know this already. And it's important you that is listening, you choose your affiliation carefully. And what made me come to this conclusion was from an American TV series I watched some few years ago titled Billions. And I urge you to go look for that whole series and watch till the end if you haven't. But make sure to watch season 5, episode 1. Season 5, episode 1. And pay attention to the language carefully. After seeing what Bobby Axelrod, who was the lead character and Wags, his right-hand man, had to do on the mountains with their spiritual leader as white people, I totally understood that it's a worldwide thing. Meanwhile, on the outside, they proclaim to be atheists and argue that there is no God. But when their time is due and no one is watching, they know where to go to get fortified and to look into the future for the next big thing. They travel to the mountaintops and meet their supreme guides for days and months, fasting and chanting. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to watch this episode. This is the era we are in the world now. It's occultic, it's ritualistic, it's spiritual and less physical. It's scary to be given free gifts always for no job done. It's enticing and many have fallen victims to it and many have died. So don't let this happen to you after watching this episode. Don't be carried away by gifts and pleasantries. It may be your soul that you are being bought or you are selling piece by piece. It's okay to be broke sometimes. I'm telling you, it's okay to be broke sometimes. It's okay to not have what it takes to do what you yearn to do sometimes. It may be that it's not the right time or the right environment. So compete, but do it under control with a clear conscience. That is the key word, clear conscience. Don't put yourself or your hands in the devil's meal. You will lose your soul. Live right and live for posterity. I've made my choice and I've chosen to put my faith in Jesus Christ as my God and Savior. And that, ladies and gentlemen, isn't negotiable. How about you? Be kind to subscribe. I humbly encourage you to subscribe and leave a like to reach as many people as possible. Help me to share to as many people that you can if this episode has been useful or helpful to you. God bless you. I'll come your way again with another one. Until then, it's bye-bye. Stay alive. I'll come again soon.